Hey guys, it's officially fall and apple season, so today we're making homemade apple crisp. So this is what you're going to need: Granny Smith or green apples, flour, dark brown sugar, butter. You're also going to need salt, lemon juice, ground nutmeg, and we're also going to use ground cinnamon. So we're going to start off with, of course, peeling the skin off of our apples. You can just do that by hand. If you use an apple core, that makes it a little bit easier, but I did the complete process by hand, so we'll just show you here. We're just peeling off your skin, and then once you get your skin peeled off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to split them down the middle and cut them into slices. Once you have all of your skin removed from your apple, or the majority of it, because you can always clean it up later, just cut your apple right in half. You don't have to remove your stem immediately. Once you slice your apple and you start to clean it up, you can easily just cut it right off. And as I'm slicing my apple, I'm also cutting the tough parts away from the apple. So I'll go ahead and complete this process, and I rinse my apples and then I add them into the bowl, and then we're going to start the seasoning process. We're going to add lemon juice, and we're also going to add nutmeg and cinnamon to our apples, and we're going to mix that together, and then we're going to set this to the side. You can actually do this process in reverse. You can make the crisp first, set that to the side, put it in the refrigerator, and then put your apples together. As long as you move pretty quick, your apples will turn a little bit, but they'll be just fine. And just get in there with your hands and get it all mixed around, and then boom, you're done with that part. Okay, so for the crisp, add your brown sugar, your flour, and we're also going to add more seasoning. Cinnamon, that's our cinnamon, that's our nutmeg, that's our salt. Put it right into your bowl. I like to go ahead and mix it together with a spoon first. You can go ahead and mix everything together with your spoon. You want your mixture to be kind of light, so when you get ready to cut your butter into your mixture, you're not doing as much work, because cutting the butter into the mixture takes a little bit of elbow grease, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not that bad. We're going to use a combination between a pastry cutter and a fork today. In the past, I've only used a fork because I was frustrated with the pastry cutter, but y'all, the pastry cutter worked wonders this time, and I'm going to show you what I mean. All right, add your whole stick of butter right in. You already have it nice and should already have it nice and cubed. Here's the pastry cutter. So to start with, the butter just gets stuck in the pastry cutter, but that's okay because we're still mashing it, we're still breaking it down. And if you don't have a pastry cutter, you can use the back of a hard glass, or you can use the teeth that come with the hand mixer. Those items work well as well. Okay, so we see all the butter in the pastry cutter. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and I'm going to come back and use my fork. All right, so same process, just using the fork. And of course, the butter gets stuck in the fork, but it doesn't have as much room to get stuck in the fork, so it's a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to use the fork for a little while, and once I've gotten it pretty well broken down, I'm going to come back with the pastry cutter, because the pastry cutter is going to get the mixture really nice and fine. It can still be a little bit lumpy, but you want to have it pretty fine so you don't have big chunks in your apple crisp, unless that's just what you want. So now I'm going crazy with the pastry cutter and just scraping it along the bowl. I love, use a plastic bowl because it's easy just to really work with. Scraping the pastry cutter along the bottom of the bowl, creating some friction to break down the butter. And you just keep going until it's not lumpy like this. We're getting ready to add it to the apples. That's it. All right, so I'll put the apples into a baking dish. I'm going to spread the apple crisp mixture just right on top of there. Make sure that you cover as much of the apples as you can, so you have a nice crust on top of your apples. And it doesn't seem like it's a lot of crisp at first, but it is. We use about 6 or 7 apples this time. I just want a lot of apples, and it worked out just fine. You can also use a Pyrex dish, use whatever type of dish that you have. If you use a dark pan or something like that, you just want to kind of watch it, because you may need to take it out a little bit sooner, since dark pans tend to cook dishes faster. Okay, and once you have all your crisps on top, you want to place it right in the oven. You don't need to cover it with foil or anything. Place it in the oven and let it go to work. I got that nice and spread on top. And when it comes out, look there, a nice crispy crust. And y'all, this apple crisp is even better the second day. Nice and moist, but crisp at the same time. An apple crisp is not apple crisp without what? Homemade vanilla ice cream. You definitely want to make sure that you pick this up with your other ingredients for this recipe. You want to add it right in your bowl, just like you're eating homemade apple pie. Y'all, you definitely want to make this recipe for fall. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll definitely catch you next time.